In today's video, I'm going to talk about how to spend, invest, and manage your profits from a prop firm or a personal trading account. Hopefully, by maximizing your investments and your spending, you can actually turn your profits into even more profits by following the steps in this video. I've received multiple prop firm payouts over the past year or so. I've obviously had to deal with this amount of money coming into my bank, so I am well experienced in dealing with prop firm payouts, what to do with the tax, the investments, and the spending side of it to make sure you actually don't run out of money and it's all in the right places to hopefully bring you more income in the long run. I'm going to go through how I'd manage it if I was in a full-time job, a part-time job, or even a full-time trader like myself, because I do think how you spend and invest is different based on each of these individual scenarios. So I'm going to go through my personal thoughts on these three topics. Obviously, I've never worked a full-time job or even like a part-time job whilst being a trader, and I've only ever been a full-time trader. That's the one I'm going to talk about most on, and that's probably what a lot of you people watching this video are actually aspiring to be. You probably want to be a full-time trader, so that's the main one which we're going to go over. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start talking about how I actually manage the payouts. What I would advise for you guys to do if you're in like the UK, a lot of the times you're going to be trading with banks or prop firms which actually only pay out in US dollars. So you're going to make sure you have a UK bank or an international bank which actually accepts these payments from dollars and doesn't charge you a massive conversion fee, because you can lose a lot of your profits if you're actually having to convert it or keep it in dollars and then trying to spend in pounds. This can be very, very annoying, especially for tax purposes as well. You're better off just putting it into pounds, otherwise you're going to keep having to do conversion rates, and obviously the pound and the dollar conversion, us traders know that it is quite volatile and it does move up and down, so it's never going to be the same. So you're better off just converting it to pounds in the first place as soon as you get the money in your bank. What I do is I have a separate bank account just for prop firm payouts, so I know exactly how much I'm making from the prop firms, and also you can see in the long run how profitable you are. Let's say you're buying accounts, you're losing a few, or you're getting refunds and everything. If it's all in one account, it's kind of separate from all your other income, all your other trading, all your other businesses. I just love having it separately so I can see where to invest my profits and how much I actually made from these individual firms. When it reaches my bank, obviously I'm going to allow for tax. A lot of people make the mistake, they start making money from trading or even from prop firms and they start spending and they don't allow for the tax they're going to have to pay. If you don't pay tax, you're going to get all your money taken away from you anyway, or even you're going to go to jail. But do not avoid your tax. Obviously, you're going to try and make it so it's as tax efficient as possible. And with prop firms, you obviously have to pay tax because you're trading for the company. So you can do it for a business, you can do it through sole trader, many different ways to do it. A lot of different countries watch this video, so I'm not going to say this is how much tax you're going to pay, because it'll be different, per person, and the different ways you actually have your businesses and your taxes set up. That is for another video and probably something I won't talk about because it's quite tricky. So you're better off just getting an accountant. All the people that message me saying, how do I deal with my tax from a prop firm? I always just say, get advice from an accountant, get advice from a financial professional that's actually licensed and registered to actually talk about tax, and it is their full-time job. I have an accountant, a financial advisor, they manage everything for me, so I'm not really the person to talk to about that sort of side of this sort of trading. What I do with this profit, after the tax is accounted for, and this is myself personally first, I invest a large percentage of this into my personal trading account. If you guys are familiar on the channel, you know that I do actually trade a personal account. I have multiple personal accounts, but the main one, with an FCA regulated broker, 1 to 30 leverage, I'm trading this with money that I've made from prop firms. To the profits I make from prop firms, I then reinvest into these personal accounts to actually grow and compound them upwards to hopefully get into a stage where they overtake the amount I have actually in prop firms. This is always the goal. So let's say you have 500k, a million in prop firm accounts. You want to get your personal account obviously to 500k to £1 million in management or in your account. So then if you make profit on one account, you're making the exact same personally. And obviously the benefits of trading personally is you keep 100% of the profit. You don't have to wait for your money. You have access to all of it and you can pay yourself at any time. It's as simple as that. The rest of the money in this prop firm bank account is used to buy more challenges. So you guys know that I love talking about building up multiple accounts with different companies. Let's say you're just trading with one company, you can only have, $300,000-400,000. Whereas if you're trading with $300,000 to $400,000 with 4, 5, 6 companies, you can easily have, 1.5, 2 million plus in funding, which is obviously the goal. If you're making 10%, you're making $200,000. Very, very nice. And that will definitely grow your personal account very quickly. Let's say I have a 50k payout. You guys know I had a 50k day. Obviously, of that 50k, the prop firms take their split, and then you have to convert it to pounds, and then you have to pay tax on this. So out of 50k from a prop firm, you're already losing probably at least half of it, if not more, to tax, conversions, prop firm split, and everything like this. So I probably only got 25. I think I ended up with around like 30,000 to 35,000 pounds after all the commissions and everything like that. You've already lost 20k, for example, depending on where you live. And what I was gonna do with this is I invested percentage into my personal account, and the rest I use to buy more prop firm challenges. Let's say there's companies I haven't used before or companies that I'm actually interested in reaching the max allocation. This is when I'll be interested in buying more challenges to reach that max allocation. Obviously, you keep getting refunds after passing all of them. So that is also money that you can use to just buy more firms. And then once you got to the stage where you're making a lot of money, you've passed all the firms and everything, this is when I start investing into property, stocks, index funds, and just kind of keep cash in the business. So any investments actually come up, you have the cash to put the money down for these certain investments. Next, we're going to move on to how I'd manage my profits as a full-time trader. Obviously, I am a full-time trader, but I'm going to do it in a different situation where maybe trading is your full income. So obviously, I have money elsewhere. You know, even this YouTube channel makes a decent living, you know, a few £1,000s per month from this channel. So I could live solely off of this channel. And that kind of takes the stress off my full-time trading. So obviously, I trade full-time. I make good returns. I average like 3 to 5% per month consistently. Obviously, it doesn't sound like a lot once you realize that the account size is a lot larger and it does start to add up, and 3 to 5% can be, well, it is 5+ figures a month from that sort of side of it. So if you have trading as your sole income, you're going to obviously use a certain percentage of these profits to actually pay all your expenses, pay your bills, your water, your electric, your food, everything like this. You're going to obviously want to pay these first. Before you spend any money, before you invest any money, you have to spend money on the expenses. Otherwise, you won't be able to live. You might have a house to even trade in. Simple as that. Once you've actually spent your money on your expenses, this is when you can move on to starting to invest or spend your profits. Obviously, I'm going to mention it. You can use these profits to just compound. So you can just leave it in your account and just compound it up. And it is quite good, especially if you're a full-time trader, because it obviously means, let's say you're making 10% one month, 10% the next month. If you reinvest the profits or the profits after expenses, this 10% will be a lot higher than the previous month. So then that can quickly grow your account over time. You know, we've obviously all been on the compound interest calculator, and we've seen how much we can make if we make 10% every single month, and it compounds up very, very nicely. And after a few months, we're left with like 5 billion. And then everyone thinks they're going to be the new Elon Musk from Forex trading. It's not like that. Obviously, you're going to have bad months too, which you have to prepare for. This is why I would suggest maybe having 6 to 12 months of savings, or maybe in an investment which you can quickly access, which isn't going to fluctuate. You know, let's say you had it in crypto, it fluctuates 50, 60%, you know, in a matter of months. Your 12-month security account is now only 6 months. So now you only have 6 months of losses to actually cover instead of 12 months. Obviously, the more you have saved or invested, even if it's in like bonds or an index fund, if you can quickly access it, it's very, very nice, because let's say you have a few losing months, you can quickly access your money. Obviously, banks don't give you a nice percentage, but you know, it's better than nothing, and it is just there for your safety. So if you do need to pay for anything, your car breaks down, you have the money to actually pay for it. So make sure you have a fund, maybe 6 to 12 months. Also take the stress off your trading, because let's say you're living obviously paycheck to paycheck, but with your trading account, you have to make profit every single month. You have to make certain returns. And this can be quite dangerous because it forces you to take trades. It forces you to maybe enter setups you wouldn't normally take. So make sure you have money saved up to cover for these losing months. Obviously, losses are inevitable. You're going to lose. I lose. Last week, I lost a few trades, but as long as the wins are bigger than the losses, that's all that matters. If you are trading full time, then you are likely to have a large account size. So the profits you've made after expenses, you're going to have a decent amount. So this is where I invest it into index funds or stocks, you know, not crypto. Crypto seems a bit dodgy at the moment, so I wouldn't really put my money into that. Or even you could get into property if you have enough money to put down the deposits, or maybe invest into maybe a buy to let. These are all opportunities which you can actually do if you have money saved up from your Forex trading. I would say it's best to put your money into safe investments or investments which you aren't gonna lose a lot of money, because the job which you have as a Forex trader is technically quite a risky one. If you're risking 1, 2, 3% of your capital on each single trade. So in 5 minutes, you could lose 2%. Whereas an investment that's relatively safe, like the S&P 500 or index funds, it's very, very rare that you're going to lose 2 to 3% within a matter of minutes. And obviously, any investments which you make, like index funds, stocks, bonds, anything like that, they're obviously going to be passive. So any money you make is going to be passive, and you kind of want this because over the year, let's say you make 5% from an index fund, it's all passive. You didn't have to work for that. All you had to do was go on the index fund app, whether it's Vanguard, Fidelity, anything like this, and then you just put in your buy order, and then that's it. Simple as that, passive income. This is nice because as an active trader, you're going to have to be sat at the charts all day at your trading hours to actually make 5% in a month. Whereas if you do it through an index fund, then you're not actually going to have to actively trade to make all the profits. So moving on to a part-time trader. This is a lot easier to plan out because you have other income supporting your lifestyle. So supporting your expenses is money from maybe your part-time job, which you're doing alongside being a Forex trader. The best case scenario is having all your expenses paid from this job or for this other business that you have. So then it relieves a lot of stress from your trading. If you're stressed going into trading or looking at the markets, having to make money, then it's going to be a lot trickier. So this can actually mean that you end up with less profit than if you're trading stress-free in the markets. If you're a part-time trader, you obviously still have time to trade, but then everything's paid for. It is quite nice at the end of the day. And it also means that all your expenses are actually paid for, and all the profits you make from your trading you can use to spend or invest. Obviously, I'm going to emphasize, investing, but there are definitely things you can actually spend your money on, which can make you into a full-time Forex trader. I would actually advise people to get a good setup, to get a good chair, a good monitor. This is stuff that you actually need. If you're going to want to become a full-time trader, obviously some people don't want to, some people only still want to trade part-time, but I imagine a lot of the people watching this video want to trade full-time. You're going to want to invest in good monitors, have a nice LG 49-inch ultra-wide monitor, have good desk, standing desk, keyboard. This new chair, it's a Herman Miller, I think it's an Aeron or something. This is like a $1,500 chair, £1,500 monitor. These are things you're going to want to invest in. If you're sat at the charts all day, you don't want to have a bad back from having a bad chair. You don't want to have eyes where you're going to have to squint to look at your monitor because it's not very good quality, or it's quite small. You're going to want to have a nice setup, a nice environment to actually trade from, because you're more likely to want to sit down and put in work in your trading to maybe become a full-time trader. This is something I'm always looking to invest in, better equipment, better keyboard, is it nicer to type, better trading journals, all these sort of things. And obviously, if you're using the profits, then it is just technically reinvesting in yourself, reinvesting in the business which you're actually running as a part-time trader. But if you are part-time and you're looking for investments to make, then I would say investing in prop firms is good, because if you invest in a prop firm or you invest in education that can lead you to then take a prop firm, then this will allow you to make obviously more money if you're funded with a few $100,000, and then also you can end up as a full-time trader at the end of that journey. So finally, we're going to move on to spending and how to actually spend. I talked about investing and how I would split it up for each job or role that you're doing in life. But if you're actually looking to spend money, then you have to be very careful and very wary with actually how you're spending. I see a lot of people on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, they get a payout and they're instantly starting to spend money. I see people that have only been trading for a year, 2 years maybe, and then they're looking to buy these crazy cars, these crazy watches, these crazy designer clothes. But can you actually afford to do that? Can you actually afford to spend all this money on your lifestyle? The answer is probably no. With trading, you're going to have losing months, and those losing months can definitely affect you quite badly, especially if your lifestyle is inflated. So many people will make 5, 10K, 15K in a month from a prop firm or from their trading and expect that to happen every single month. But people don't realize that trading is very up and down. You're going to lose some months, you're going to win some months, and it kind of only really matters over the whole year if you're actually profitable or not. You can't expect, I made 15K last month, so I'm going to make 15K this month. It's not how trading works. You're not guaranteed to make money every single month. You could lose for 6 months in a row. Are you going to be able to maintain your lifestyle if you're losing for 6 months in a row? For a lot of these people, the answer is probably no. And there are certain things which I actually don't mind spending money on. The first one is education. So I spend a lot of money on books, as you guys can see over there. I don't read trading books, but I read books, about normal life and business and stuff like that. But I don't really think trading books can actually help you. In a lot of cases, reading books outside of trading can actually help your trading, but a lot of people mention trading books, but it's not really something I'm interested in reading. I invest a lot into, courses. So when I was doing like video editing, I invested in video editing courses. I really enjoy learning languages, and I'm trying to speak a few languages, so that's good fun. And obviously reinvesting into my businesses. It's like this camera. At the start of my trading and at the start of my YouTube channel, I didn't have a nice camera. Now we have a nice camera. We have an expensive microphone. We have cool lights. Even the light for the setup here is quite expensive. Everything is just trying to be better and better, which in the long run will make you more money. If you're investing more in your desk, your setup, your cameras, obviously if you do anything with cameras, it will eventually make you more money, or even it will make it nicer to work. A nicer environment always means you're going to put more work in. And if you are spending money on these nice things such as cars, watches, designer clothes, then make sure if you have a few losing months, it's not going to affect your lifestyle. If you have to end up selling your car because of 6 months of losing trades, or 6 months of trading where you can't really maintain the lifestyle which you actually had for 2 months, then you're obviously overspending. You should have an accountant and a financial advisor which will tell you if it's actually feasible to actually buy these things, and if you don't, then you can just be reckless, not care about tax, and end up losing money in the long run from your trading. If you have businesses and investment set up, you're not really going to have to worry about 6 months of losing trades, but always be mindful that it is possible to actually lose for a few months in a row. Are you able to lose 3%, 5% for 6 months in a row and still be able to trade? That's what you need to ask yourself. Is your lifestyle too expensive for the money you're making? And just make sure you invest more than you spend on nice things, and then hopefully you won't ever have to worry about your spending in the future. So I'll catch you guys in the next video.